I woke up this morning to the fascinating news that they are going to be remaking the classic campaign from Halo Combat Evolved, and they're calling it Halo Campaign Evolved. You see what they did there? Yeah. I figured I'd go ahead and take this opportunity to kind of wrap up my thoughts about Xbox as a whole. I I've had every single console that Xbox has ever made, all the way back to the beginning. I had the original Halo, Halo 2, I had the Xbox 360 with Halo 3. I- have I've had a lot of experience with Xbox, and I got to tell you, ever since the Xbox One, it's just been going downhill so fast. And just when you think it can't get any worse, somehow they make it worse. Somehow they consistently want to tank this console or this brand or whatever. I don't know what they're doing. It's very bizarre to me. I've actually recorded this a couple of times. I recorded this like a month or two ago, and it just sounded too negative, and I just scrapped it because I generally like to say something positive. But at this point, it does look like the Xbox brand is coming to an end. The most recent news out of Xbox as a whole was the increased price of Game Pass. Game Pass being their subscription service to where you get all of the games on Game Pass as long as you're subscribed. It's like gaming Netflix. And it used to be pretty cheap. I think it used to be like $15, $14 a month or something like that. And now it's doubled. I don't know. I've never had Game Pass. I don't like the game rental service at all. I'm not into that. I like to buy my games either physically or digitally. I don't know. I don't get a lot of Game Pass stuff. But apparently everybody canceled their subscription, and now that was really the last thing keeping Xbox alive. And I was surprised this morning to wake up to the news that they were going to be remaking the Combat Evolved campaign. I'll get to my thoughts on that in just a second. The major controversial thing about this is that this is the very first Halo game that is going to be on PlayStation. This game is going to debut on Xbox Series consoles, Steam, PC, and PlayStation 5. I don't really think that's as big a deal as everyone is making it out to be. Everybody's kind of like, well, first they put Gears of War on PlayStation, which was Xbox's second biggest franchise, and now they're putting the biggest franchise on PlayStation. You could have seen this coming from a mile away. After Halo Infinite, it was like, dude, they're putting everything. Every new game that's coming out for Xbox is coming out on PlayStation. It's only a matter of time until the new, Halo game is going to be on PlayStation. And here it is. It's on PlayStation. So to me, that's not that shocking. It's par for the course. They're doing that with everything these days. What really saddens me, though, is that this is clearly the end of Xbox. Putting Halo, or putting new Halo or old Halo or whatever this Halo is going to be on PlayStation does signify that there are no exclusives left to Xbox. They will no longer be keeping anything exclusive. Which means there's no reason to go to that platform, which means that they're just probably going to go the way of Sega and just be a video game publisher. Which might have been their plan all along. I remember with Phil Spencer when he started buying up all those studios in like 2013, 2014, and 2015. You'd go to E3, they would not really announce a lot of new games, but they'd say, hey, we bought a bunch of these studios. Let's see what they make. And they don't make anything. And then eventually they just shut the studio down. So I think that Xbox leaving, they're not leaving yet. They keep saying they're going to put out another console, and I'm sure they will, and they're going to want to market it as like a big Game Pass machine. But for us that actually play video games, Xbox is basically dead. That's it, I mean, I have no reason to buy this on an Xbox console. I'm either going to buy it on Steam or I'm going to buy it on PlayStation. And I'm probably going to buy it on PlayStation because it's going to be wild to buy a physical version of a Halo title that has PlayStation written on it. Like that's so crazy. That's like playing a Mario game on a Sega console. It's like, what? It's crazy. I don't know. Overall, I'm very sad with the direction of Xbox. It's sad the way they've been, doing things for such a long time, but I don't know. I guess it was just nice knowing you, Overall, I don't really have that much to say about Xbox dying. It's been a long, slow death for many, many years. I mean, since 2012, basically, until this is kind of the final nail in the coffin. But I did want to talk mostly today about the Halo campaign. What do I think of Halo as a franchise? Like, where's it going? What's it doing? All that kind of stuff. Halo has always been my favorite franchise from Xbox. Combat Evolved has always been my favorite. I did love 2 and 3 as well, but CE really was kind of my favorite. That was what I always went to. And with the announcement that they're remaking, not just reimagining this campaign, I'm interested, but I'm also kind of terrified. I'm not really sure that this is going to... I don't know. I don't really get good vibes. Let me just put it that way. They're using Unreal Engine 5, which has not been proven to work very well this generation. A lot of technical failures have happened with this engine on consoles and PC. So yeah, I don't really know. They have already technically remastered this campaign with Halo 10th Anniversary Edition, which came out on the 360. I loved that. I thought it was great. I still play that to this day on the Master Chief Collection on Steam. But I don't know. When I look at this, the trailer showed off a lot of footage from the Silent Cartographer level, which is a great level, I'll give you that. I kind of wish they'd have shown off the second level, which is just called Halo, where they first get to the Halo ring. That would have been kind of cool to see as a nice introduction. Everything just kind of looks fine. It's like, okay, whatever. There seems to be some issues with frame rate and stuff. Obviously, this is not a finished product. This is going to be coming out in 2026. I think it's okay. I don't know. There's really not much to say about it other than fine. This is probably the main meat of what I wanted to talk about today. I also sort of think that Halo as an idea is kind of finished. We had a great trilogy from Bungie, and then you brought new people in there. They didn't really know what to do with it. It got too experimental. It got too weird, and everybody the fan base fractured, and then it just kind of slowly died. I don't know. After playing Reach kind of felt like the end. Like when Bungie left, it did kind of feel like, well, there's really nothing new they can do with this franchise. And they kind of passed, the hot potato on to 343. And, to their credit, I think they tried their best, but I just don't think there's anything else you can do with it. You want more different kinds of enemies, but when you go outside of the Covenant or when you go outside of, the Flood, it just starts to get too weird and it's not feeling like Halo anymore. And so, I don't know. This is one of those situations where I think they're remaking Combat Evolved because there's really nothing else they can do. I mean, I don't know what else you could do with Halo. I'm a huge fan of the franchise, and I'm like, dude, I've been done with Halo for like 20 years now. I don't know what to do with it. I mean, after 2008, I was like, well, that's it. Bye. Like, the franchise is done, or not 2008, sorry. I think Reach came out in 11, 12, no, 10, I don't know. Whenever Reach came out, I was like, okay, that feels like the end of it. This feels like they got nothing else to say. The idea is complete. Which is kind of poetic because, like I said, I feel like that's the same with Xbox. Xbox kind of had its moment, its early 2000s, vibe. it flourished at that time in gaming and in America, and now that time has passed. And I just don't see a future for Xbox. Even though they want to continue to make games and they want to publish things and so forth, the fans and the gaming industry just seem to have really shifted away from those values. I don't know. There's really nothing else I feel like Xbox or Halo can do. Like I said, I'm curious to see what they do with this remake. I would love it if they would expand it. If they would maybe give us levels between levels, or maybe add on to things. If this is just going to be a one-for-one remake, which is what I've seen so far. So far, this looks the exact same. Sure, the map might be slightly bigger or smaller in certain areas. Sure, they may do little tweaks here and there. But from what they've showed us from the Silent Cartographer, it's virtually the same thing. Like, enemies might be slightly positioned in the same different places, but the architecture's the same. Vehicles look the same. The beach, everything just looks like a 4K modern title. And so I'm not quite sure why I should play it. Why should I play this? Just because it's a classic campaign that I know and love? Like, that might not be enough for me. Also, the audio, the voices sound like the original recordings. They don't even sound like new audio recordings. So I don't know. It's all very odd. I'm not quite sure what Xbox is going to do. I'm sure they're going to announce a new console. I don't really know why. But, yeah, it's just all very sad. It's sad when things like this come to an end. And it frightens me mostly because that's just going to leave Sony completely unchecked in the gaming market. And this is another reason why I really want to see Steam enter the console market. If you leave Sony alone, they're going to get so greedy. Things are going to get so bad. They're already bad because technically Sony right now has no competition. They can raise prices to whatever they want because they're sitting there saying, "What are you going to buy an Xbox? All their games are on our platform. Plus we have our own exclusives. You would be a moron to buy an Xbox." And they're not wrong. There is no reason to buy an Xbox. It's like, well, what about for Game Pass? They just raised the price of Game Pass. They're probably going to do it again. I don't know. It is a dying ecosystem, and they're drowning, and they're not even trying to swim. They're just sinking to the bottom of the ocean, and we're just watching them in real time. It's awful. It's terrible. I don't know. There needs to be a healthy competition between platforms. If Sony is a major competitor, they need a competitor. They need somebody that's going to challenge them. And right now they're going completely unchecked and unchallenged. They're just like, well, we don't really have to do that much. We've got no competition from Xbox. We've got no competition from anybody else. And Nintendo's also going strong, but they're not going to directly compete with Sony. They can't. They don't have the power to compete with them. The Switch 2 is fantastic. I'm loving mine, but it's nowhere near as powerful as a PS5. It's not going to be able to run GTA 6. So Sony's going to continue to probably raise its prices. Xbox is probably going to do the same, or whatever it feels like doing, which makes no sense to me. And eventually, Sony's going to be the only console out there, unless Steam joins. Like I said, unless somebody else jumps in there. And at this point, Steam seems to be the most likely to compete. And I would really hope that they would. I would love to see a Steam machine. A Steam home living room console would be fantastic. It would be digital, all digital, but basically that's what you're doing now. I just recently bought Silent Hill F physically, and I put it in there, and I still needed a lot of downloading. I had to download quite a bit of stuff, right? So, everything's basically digital now, with the exception of Nintendo. Nintendo's the only people that still put physical games on cartridges. I just recently bought Pokemon Legends ZA for the Switch 2. Put that cartridge in there. No update needed. Still hasn't had an update. It's been like 2 weeks. Still no update. And so, yeah, they're the only people that are kind of still doing that. And most of the people that want to publish on Nintendo's platform, they just want to do key cards anyway. So it's like the only developer that really cares about this is Nintendo. So I don't know. It's sad times right now. Things continue to get worse. Just when you kind of hope, like when I first saw the screenshot of Master Chief in the remake, I was like, oh, this is going to be a great excuse for me to dust off my Xbox and play it again. I haven't played it in, a couple years now. And it's like, well, it's coming to PS5. It's like, well, that is where I'll be playing it then, probably. I probably will be buying it on PlayStation just because of how strange that will be to see it on there. So, well, let me hold on. I haven't decided if I'm going to buy it yet or not, depending on the price. It's probably going to be like $70. Ugh, gosh. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on the price. I need to see more of it. But I am definitely very curious. Slightly optimistic. But I don't know. It doesn't look like they're doing that much new with it. I just already have this game, like at home. Why do I need to buy it again? Anyway, I'm just going around in circles. What do you think about what's going on with Xbox? Like, are you bummed out that they've left the console war? Are you happy that they've left the console war? I know some of my friends that I've spoken to about this. They're just like, yeah, go, bye. Like, go away, Xbox. Like, they want them gone. And they were Xbox people. But they just, you just see the writing on the wall. It's like, well, you guys aren't trying. You've given up. Go away. Bye. So what do you think? Should they continue to fight? Should they pull their games back and become exclusives again? Or should they just say, you know what, we're just going to publish everything multi-platform here going forward, and we're not going to do another console? It'll be interesting to see what happens in their future. But as far as I'm concerned, Xbox has died, and it's just sad to see. I have a lot of fond memories with that platform, and it's always unfortunate when good things go away. So, sorry to leave that on a downer note. Like I said, I try to always keep things positive and light, but unfortunately, this is just a tough situation. But I don't know. Everybody just enjoy your week out there. Try to think of something positive, and as always, take care of each other out there.